Hello. Welcome to Animal Audit Corner. I'm Nisa. That's right, I said my name again. Now, today, we are going to stand up to Scientology and Jessica Palmadessa did. Jessica Palmadessa is one of the protesters advocating against Scientology's abusive practice. She is one of the California residents that fights city corruption whenever Scientology is involved. And of course, she's been through that last year. By Scientology, this Jessica has what it takes to bring down that organization illegal operation when she has her cell phone camera on. And believe me, she does it right. She is very clever when she is intercepting Scientology's recruitment tactics when they target. When it comes to her intuition, she always knows her position herself when Scientology has people in their clutches. She just knows how to get them out of their clutches. Jessica spots not just 2 Scientologists, but she would find at least 6 of them was it this morning? No, that would be, I believe, last night. She would be she's on the top of she was on top where they were going. Then she sees them go inside the test center. And guess what? Yeah, there were changes made at the test center. But you know what? I found something better. I did have a footage of them making those changes, but guess what? I found something better and very interesting. Hang in there and I'll show you a little later. She would go around the corner of the test center. She saw windows of the test center fixed so no one would look. Jessica said they had updated everything at that building. Then she said that they claimed that people were breaking in. But is it true? That's the question. Now, everyone would think that they were lying, but was it? But with Scientology, you can never tell because they would be capable of lying. Then she went to the gate where they would slip through or they would recruit and smuggle people because guess what? They have done it before. Last year, William Good caught them in the act of doing it and he intercepted them. Jessica mentioned that they were out there earlier. Those guys were walking up and down the boulevard like there was no tomorrow. They were that desperate for people. They wanted members so bad they would resort to just almost anything now. Then she had peeked over the gate and saw 2 vans. They got the second one when they got 10 more people. What depressing news. Then when the Scientologists were there earlier, she had set up her tripod there where about 7 of them there. All the recruiters were walking down the boulevard, then went to the gate. Did they actually go through it? You know, was it yesterday or the day before? Actually, no. It was earlier. A woman went to the gate. She saw Jing. Then she ran into one of the businesses and went inside like she was some kind of psychopathic murder. Then all the recruiters were everywhere. They had a bunch of flyers with them too. All of them gonna be gone by tomorrow, by the time that night gets out. Jessica saw the Scientologists recruiting up and down the sidewalk. They were all, I didn't think they were gonna get new Scientologists at all because of the numbers going down. Of course, maybe they're getting, they all see her again and they all ran off. Of course, that's what cults do. They see one person and then they just close everything. After she noticed that they all came up with all of, they came up with new tactics. Boy, what kind of new tactics would they come up with? I thought they used them all. Jessica made her way back to the test center. She was right across the street from where, and as usual, those recruiters would make like they own the streets. Let's look at Clearwater. David Miscavige didn't want to bother hanging around people who weren't Scientologists, so he just literally pushed everybody out of town. Like he just owned a joint. Well, like he just owned the entire town. But, secretly, he was buying out every businesses and kicking all the business owners out. That's how badly he did not want to talk to anyone who weren't Scientology. They are also desperate to get people into their stupid cult that they had to hog up the entire street, or in this case, sidewalk, because I would think the sidewalk is connected to the street. Then all in all, Scientology would always be the bully. They were like that for decades, and they are not going to stop doing that either. Yes, Jessica Palmadessa is always going to be one of the protesters advocating against Scientology's abusive practices. She was really standing up to them because guess what? Every time they saw her, they just ran. She thought it was crazy. But I thought, honestly, that they couldn't face her or any other ultimately, Jessica not only spotted 2 Scientologists, but she would find at least 6 of them. But overall, with Scientology, you can never tell because they would be capable of lying. They would be lying about anything under the sun, such as slave labor. They would turn around and say, "Hey, we don't do that anymore." No, we're not going to believe that bull either. Finally, all the recruiters were walking down Boulevard, then to the gate. It looked like they were leaving. Conclusion, they all are so desperate to get people into their stupid cult that they had to hog up in an entire street corner. But when I logged off, guess what happened when I got back on? You would never believe. Well,
At the Scientology building.
all right, there it is.
Scientology building. Suspicious package delivered to Scientology. They have crime tape up all around the entire, everywhere near it.
Well, there it was. Now, do you think Scientology? I think they may have because they are capable of it. As you recall last year, they called in a bomb threat. Every police officer, almost half the LAPD were there along with bomb sniffing. But you know what? Little doggies did not find anything in neither of those little police officers. And they left with smiles on their faces. Find out what went on who made that call? No. And they probably got that call, but as usual, it would be Scientology. They want to shut Jessica down so bad it's pathetic. She's got her First Amendment rights, like you have a right to your religion, Scientology. But you know what? Whenever Scientology is involved, they don't want to do anything. But you know what? There are good police officers out there that will do their job. And they had in Denver one of the Scientologists phone or a piece fell off when he held them and waited till the police came. They cuff him. So there are cases where they do. Guess what? Poe is back. He is gonna be on air on Wednesdays as I mentioned. And what else is there to talk about? Mm, now, as you earlier today, or was Postate Alex and Chris Chris Sheldon was talking about protesting. They in a protesters, I mean not protesters, in Scientology's point. He was in Scientology, and people would walk in and tell him that there is no, well, whatever it is they said about Xenu, he would just turn around and think, you know what, these people are crazy because there is no such thing as Xenu. And of course, they haven't heard of Xenu while they're at the bottom level of science. You have to at least be OT3 or OT4 before you hear about Xenu. And of course, as you back in during the one of the Mission Impossible installments, Scientology tried to shut down Alex. They said that he had bomb in there in his bag, but not a bomb. That said that Alex had gasoline and wanted to pour it on Tom. They found no gasoline. Yeah, that's right. They didn't. Yeah, it's things like that. And of course, now both or Barnes and Sheldon, that's Alex's real name. They learned something out of all the protesters, but I don't think they do. And they were both in Scientology. Let's see here. In a protester's point, they have the First Amendment right to protest in this country. But there are rules too that goes along with it. Now, you can protest in Britain, but their rules would be a little bit different from the United States in our country. And like them, they have a right to the religion. We have a right to protest. Okay, dead air. I'm going to keep on trying to go to 30 minutes. Yeah, they just don't care to hear about protest. And they often would stand up to them. They fight Scientology and they would win because you know what? 2 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago, Alex got arrested because one of the Scientologists made a claim that he was assaulted by Aaron Talk, which didn't make sense. Yes, okay, fine. All the powder went up, but that was cornstarch. But you know what? I really don't think that there's going to be a trial. He says he's still waiting for a call from the DA, but yes, he would have heard something by now. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be a trial, but he would like it to go either way because he wants his day in court. He wants them to look foolish with. I don't blame him. But no, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And all in all, there were witnesses there saying that Aaron did not assault. And I did show you a footage of that. But then all in all, yeah, I don't think there's gonna be any trial. Because he would have heard something by now. He did mention it yesterday. No, I don't think there's gonna be a trial. I think he would have heard something by now. The DA never called him. So, since he didn't call him, I don't think he's gonna hear from him because I don't think there's gonna be a trial. Well, this should do it for today. I will see you tomorrow. Hit the like, press subscribe, and I'll definitely see you tomorrow.